a world before bullets. Battles were a chaotic clash of stone-throwing slingshots, arrows that could veer wildly off course, and swords that left you precariously close to your enemy's pointy blade. Not exactly the picture of precision warfare, right? Then came the bullet, a tiny, precise projectile that revolutionized warfare. But how did we bridge the gap from slinging rocks to launching these miniature missiles? And more importantly, how do these marvels of engineering actually get made? It all starts back in the 9th century with a big invention in China, gunpowder. This discovery revolutionized warfare, paving the way for the development of firearms and, of course, bullets. But those early bullets were far from today's fancy bullets. Imagine just a simple lead ball, not exactly high-tech. Fast forward a few centuries and technology started to take off. Think about it. What if bullets could be more accurate, more powerful? That's where the real innovation began. Today's bullets are like tiny high-tech machines, each meticulously crafted for a specific purpose. Some bullets are built to pierce through tough armor, while others are designed to minimize damage in controlled situations. But what is the actual process for making these bullets? The first stop on our tour is the raw materials department. The main ingredients are lead, copper, and sometimes even steel or tungsten. But where do these magical ingredients come from? Imagine a vast landscape, like the Rocky Mountains, dotted with giant pits. That's where our copper adventure begins. Miners carefully extract copper ore, a reddish-brown rock that holds the precious metal inside. Lead, the heavy metal used in the bullet's core, also has a hidden home, deep underground. Miners extract lead ore, which looks a bit like gray pebbles. In the next step, the ores take a trip to a processing plant. Here, the rock gets crushed and ground up into tiny pieces. Then, a special chemical process separates the copper and lead from all the other stuff in the rock, like magic. So, how do we transform raw materials into these sophisticated projectiles? In very first step, these raw materials are taken to a big machine called a furnace. This machine heats the materials until they become very hot and turn into a liquid. The lead is either melted and poured into molds for specific core shapes or squeezed through machines to form long wires. On the other hand, this impressive machine takes the molten copper and transforms it into a wide, flat sheet. The molten copper is transformed into a thick sheet. This sheet then needs to be further flattened and thinned out for use in the bullet jacket. Now we have prepped lead cores and thin copper sheets. But how do they come together to form the finished product? The copper core, whether it's a specific shape or a cut wire, is carefully placed inside a special machine. This machine acts like a tiny cup-o-matic, taking a thin copper sheet and precisely punching and forming it into a little cup, the future jacket of our bullet. Then lead core and the copper cup are brought together, where a tiny robot arm gently places the lead core right in the center of the copper cup. Our next step is shaping up the bullet. Our bullet has a core and a jacket, but it might not look quite finished yet. Depending on the bullet's purpose, it might need some final shaping. If the bullet needs to fly far and straight, a special machine might press the tip of the bullet to a sharp point. Imagine sharpening a pencil for maximum writing accuracy. That's kind of what happens here, but for long-range bullet flight. But how can this seemingly simple piece of metal travel down a gun barrel at lightning speed? No bullet is complete without its engine. The propellants, usually made from nitrocellulose or nitroglycerin, are chosen because they burn quickly, creating the pressure needed to push the bullet forward. So to ignite this propellant, we need primer. Imagine a tiny spark plug. That's essentially what the primer is. It sits at the base of the bullet casing and is crucial for igniting the propellant when the trigger is pulled. A special machine carefully inserts the primer into the casing. We might be nearing the finish line, but there's one more crucial step before these bullets are shipped off. Safety and consistency are paramount. Every single bullet undergoes rigorous quality checks. Imagine a team of eagle-eyed inspectors and high-tech machines working together. They meticulously examine each bullet, ensuring it meets the strictest standards. Finally, the finished bullets are packaged and shipped, ready to find their way to shooting ranges, hunting grounds, or law enforcement agencies.